Teachings of the Mentor. The general who is always defeated. We want to be good now, but that can't be changed at once. We haven't practiced, how can you change it? Then start practicing now and stop following this habit and feeling. You should know that those who come to annoy you and cause you vexation, they come and go, they cannot cause you vexation, and you can dwell in the realm of your own Dharma doctrine. It is it, you are you, regardless of its business, no longer chasing clouds and dreams. Then you may fail once, you may fail twice, you may fail 1,000 times, 10,000 times, or even decades. Then everyone said, how can we practice if we fail so often? In fact, we succeeded from failure. Why do you say that? We have talked about this before. Because every time you fail, the karma is almost exhausted. If you fail once, it is depleted by 1 point. We say that this karma is too much, too large, and it is 10,000 points. After you have failed 10,000 times, it will be dried up. When you have done so, you will be able to take charge of yourself. At this time, no one will be able to cause you any trouble, no one will be able to cause you any confusion, and you will be able to dwell in the realm of the Dharma. So every time you fail, you really don't lose, because you don't lose anything. But every time you spend time with it, even if it wins, it is consumed by you. In the end, the real achievement is us, and in the end, it is completely dead. If you do not remember this, you will have no hope of success, and no chance of success in the future. If you are willing to fail, if you are not afraid of failing, just consume it, until the end, you will surely win. Because in the end, it will be gone. Your self-nature will not increase or decrease a bit. The key is whether or not you are willing to spend more time with it, and this is very important. So, no matter how many people and things come to annoy you or cause trouble, when they come to you, you can take this opportunity to practice your Kung Fu. I hope we can all do a good job. These are all practices of spiritual practice. If you do not grasp these things, you can still say that you can practice successfully. That is impossible. That is to say, just one person coming at random is enough to bother you. Just one person coming at random will give you chaos in the world. Then you say, how can you practice? You will not be able to do so. Even if you do, you will be in big trouble. Many people say, I am in the world, and there are many things and people to bother me, so I will go to the deep woods. Well, if you go to the deep woods where there is no one to bother you or cause trouble, there are always flies and mosquitoes, right? What do you think you should do? What are you going to do? You're going to be angry with flies and mosquitoes every day? Then you won't be able to get angry either. Therefore, if you want to be good, you have to practice honestly, and not think of any other ideas. Any idea is useless to you. I vow that all sentient beings can be like a mentor, like a Buddha, not following habits and feelings. You must know that it is it, you are you. No matter what it is, you live in the realm of your own state, and don't chase the cloud and dreams anymore. If you are willing to consume your karma, and become an ever-defeating general, you will surely win in the end. Have great joy and confidence, great courage and diligence, not chaotic and single-minded, and become a part of oneself and generate wisdom. Ingeniously fit the foundation of all sentient beings. The perfection of kindness, compassion, joy and giving boundlessly, rescue and protect all sentient beings actively.
Hello, everyone. We are going to learn the following with joy together. Casting stone to ask for directions and observing colors and faces. How can we grasp the rise of conditions well when we cannot know the current situation of others before we have not attained the spiritual powers? On the one hand, we are striving to make a vow that we will have supernatural powers so that we can know the conditions of others when we scan them. On the other hand, we use the method of casting stones to ask for directions, which is also called observing colors and faces. The aim is to figure it out. What do we figure out? Just try to understand the other party, absolutely not saying anything or doing anything in the absence of a clear situation. When you are in the absence of a clear situation to the other party, it often becomes clear that only you yourself understand what you think and what you say, but what others sound like is completely another matter. Because you are standing on your own point of view, using your own words, thinking of your own problems. Of course, merely you yourself understand it. If you want something to be heard, then you want it to be understood by others. If you want your words to be understood by others, you must stand on other people's point of view, elaborate in other people's words and in his way of thinking. Then he will immediately be able to thoroughly understand. We have so much to learn about this. This is called the ariser of conditions. Above all, we should discover the ariser of conditions, then do what we should do on the basis of this ariser of conditions to achieve our own goal. How to behave. Every state of the spirit, expressions, movements, or languages about behaving has a corresponding effect. What is an effect? To make a metaphor from a country, a word can make the country prosperous. On the other hand, a word can make the country decline. From a person, a word can make a person happy. A word can also make a person angry and indignant. If a person is good at grasping them, all kinds of good effects will be produced. State of the spirit, expressions, movements, and languages are also called the riser of the conditions. With the help of the state of the spirit, expressions, movements, and languages, an riser of the conditions can be created, which can make other people venerate you, respect you, obey you, and like you. Rubbish words and disorganized expressions cannot produce such an effect. We should learn this, but how can we learn them? Are there any good or bad atmospheres? 1 or 2 words can destroy them. 1 or 2 words can also do a good job. We should learn to handle it. We hope everything is alright, and we can make everything become alright as well. But sometimes we want to ruin it. That is, to corrupt our own virtues. Whether we are showing our own virtues or distracting our own virtues, it will have nothing to do with others. At the very most, you have lost your own virtue. Thank you for your listening.
The Path Back to the Family of the Thus Come One author, Grace Serial 8. After over an hour's bowing to the Buddha images and chanting in the main hall, it was getting dark. It was a bit cold and I got back to the room and went to sleep after lying on bed for a while. At around 2 o'clock in the quiet morning, I woke up and began to think about what would happen the next day till 3:30 a.m. Then the morning bell rung. I got up to the main hall with the assembly to chant the Lanyan mantra and to recollect Buddhas in meditation. After finishing that, I went to the dining room for breakfast with curiosity and in doubt. The food was still as tasteless as yesterday's and hard to take. With the gratitude to living beings for their offerings, I ate up. Then the record of Jinkong's preaching was played to the assembly. As I looked around, I saw a few people dozing off at the table just after breakfast, which gave me another negative impression. After breakfast, I placed my kashaya sash well back to the room and did some work of picking the vegetables with them. I had worked for about 1 to 2 hours quietly, but it was still early in the morning. Suddenly I was scaled by the sound of quarrel from the kitchen, which became louder and louder. Then I saw the 2 people quarreling out of the kitchen and even beginning to fight. Their behaviors based on greed, hatred and ignorance disappointed me and moved me to retreat. I thought that in the past I followed the greed, hatred and ignorance to create an uncountable evil karma, and now I suffered the retribution a lot. I desired to find a way out of it. Thus I was seeking a mentor to guide me. The people there were no different than me in the past. I continued to think. I could live and endure the life not so rich since I grew up in a condition of hardship. There was nothing for me to bear the hardship in body. However, I had to learn to free myself from the afflictions of greed, hatred and ignorance. I talked to myself, perhaps this was not the place for seeking the wise mentor. I made a decision to return to my university first. Thinking in this way, I entered the room for packing my stuff. With a pack-back on my back, I went to the reception for picking up my passport and student card. Saying goodbye to them, I got on a bus to the train station downhill in order to buy a ticket to return to my university. To be continued.
the wise, our mantle of kindness, compassion, joy, and giving, is difficult to encounter in hundreds of millions of eons. We now see and hear Him, and joyfully follow Him. We want to possess the skill that showing respect swiftly. We want to hear, contemplate, and practice the wonderful Dharma internally. We want to attain the Buddha-like true state. We want to get that, attain to mental, in order to reply him or his kindness, and we want to emulate his Buddha's practice.
Recorded on afternoon, July 1st, 2011. Furthermore, before vowing, you should know how to follow the kind mentors. For instance, in the 53 Reliance of Youthful Sadhana, it illuminates that each kind mentor has a huge following, most of the followers preferring to stay with them, Buddhas or Bodhisattvas. There are 3 reasons below. Firstly, they have vowed to follow and to accompany their mentors previously. Secondly, they will not leave their kind mentors until they have achieved the same capabilities with them. Lastly, they choose to practice what they have learned under the guardianship of their mentors to guarantee their practices are precise. Until they are awarded achievements, they will leave their mentors. In that case, what are the standards of a follower? What are the teachings on this in sutras? Firstly, as it goes in the Sutra of Complete Enlightenment, when the mentor approaches, don't behave with arrogance. While he separates from us, no thoughts of hatred would arise. Whatever he manifests, the idea of unprecedented wonder should awake. He should be treated as a Buddha appears in the world. Secondly, we should follow our kind mentor with 9 mindsets and 6 thoughts. The 9 mindsets are as below. The filial childlike mindset, the Vajra-like mindset, the earth-like mindset, the iron mountain-like mindset, the child servant-like mindset, the manure remover-like mindset, the vehicle-like mindset, the dog-like mindset, and the boat-like mindset. What is the filial childlike mindset? As it says in volume 33, the Adornment Flower Sutra, you should raise the mindset of filial child to follow the kind mentor, to attend to make offerings to him, and submit to his joys and sorrows. Furthermore, as it goes in volume 58, the Adornment Flower Sutra, the mind of filial childlike should be awakened in kind mentor, as well as the thought of never tiring of meeting kind mentors. What about the Vajra-like mindset? In volume 33, the Adornment Flower Sutra, it says, the mind of filial childlike should be raised to kind mentor, thus your equal resolution and vows cannot be destroyed. What about the earth-like mindset? In volume 77, the Adornment Flower Sutra, it says, the thought of earth-like should be awakened when attending to the kind mentor, since in that way you can bear heavy workload without fatigue. What is the iron mountain-like mindset? In volume 77, the Adornment Flower Sutra, it goes, the mindset of the iron mountain-like should arise when attending to the kind mentor, because in such a way your mind will be unmoving when you face all the sufferings. What is the child servant-like mindset? In volume 77, the Adornment Flower Sutra, there is a saying as this, the mindset of the child servant-like should be awakened when attending to the kind mentor, because in this way you will not be tired of any job. What about the manure remover-like mindset? As it goes in volume 33, the Adornment Flower Sutra, the mindset of manure remover-like should arise in kind mentor, thus you could remove all the arrogance. Why should we take advantage of this mindset to remove our arrogance? Since the ancient sages said, the arrogance is like the mountain, which cannot contain any water of merit. If someone is greatly arrogant, she is deprived of merits. What is the vehicle-like mindset? In volume 33, the Adornment Flower Sutra, it tells, the mind of the great vehicle-like should be raised to kind mentor, with which one can carry heavy burden, and have no thought of seeking repayment. No matter how heavy the burden is, one can carry it without any thought of repayment from the kind mentor. What is the dog-like mindset? As it says in volume 33, the Adornment Flower Sutra, the mind of good dog-like should be awakened in kind mentor, with which one will not harm and hate their masters. How about the boat-like mindset? In Volume 33, The Adornment Flower Sutra, it says, the mindset of boat-like should be raised to kind mentor, with which one will transport to and fro without weariness. To be continued.
Director of the Buddhist Teaching Research Center. 1. The director must abide by and implement the Constitution of the Association and any related regulations. 2. The director is responsible for the academic research work of the Buddhist Teaching Research Center and its work coordination and management. 3. The director must assist the chairperson in the Buddhist practice of the association. Thank you.